Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life YouTube channel, and welcome to this 2025 in review and 2026 preview video for my channel here. So I kind of did this last year where I looked back on the year that at that time was 2024 and then a look ahead to 2025. And I wanted to do that again this year, and I'll probably continue to do it too. Just kind of the highlights and lowlights, if there are any, for 2025 on my channel as I see it. Things that I've learned, things that I can improve on, and then look ahead to 2026 and kind of let you guys know what you can expect the first month of the year here. And really throughout the year, even though I'm not going to give away too much. But with that being said, let's start by looking back at 2025. Happy New Year's Eve, by the way, everybody out there. This is dropping on New Year's Eve about 4 o'clock, so Central Time. It might be New Year's Day already where you are, or it might be earlier than 4 o'clock Central Time. But anyway, with that being said, let's take a look back at 2025. So the biggest takeaway that I can say about 2025 is I spent like 65% of the year in my 1980s horror movie series, taking a look at the years 1981, which is what I kicked off 4 of the first 5 months of this year, January, February, April, and May, and I skipped March because I did the Leprechaun franchise. But four of the first 5 months was all about 1981, and then 4 of the last 5 months was all about 1982, and all those videos, including my top 20 movies from each of those years, are up on my channel if you want to check them out. What the hell? There's a weird thing with the lighting there. It looks like I got the big ball in New York City over my head there, like the ball drop at midnight. But anyway, so I spent 8 out of the 12 months in 2025 in the 1980s horror series, and that's okay because obviously, if you don't know, that's an ongoing series on my channel where I'm going to take a look at each year from the entire decade of the 80s, try to watch and review every horror movie that was put out, and then give you my top whatever at the end of it, whether it's top 20 in the case of 81, 82. I think 83 is probably going to be more like top 15, and because there's a couple of more lean years in the middle of the 80s, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That was just a little too much for me, I think, because there's so much more I want to do on my channel in 2026 and going forward. So to do 2 years of the 80s in 1 year was just a little too much on my channel. So in 2026, I'm going to limit it to 1 year. We're going to be taking a look at 1983, and that'll be happening about midway through the year. I think I can do 1983 in 3 months. So I think I'm looking at July, August, and September of 2026 that I'll be revisiting my overall 1980s horror movie series by taking a look at 1983, and then again I'll have probably top 15 horror movies from 1983 at the end of September. So that's kind of the first big takeaway from 2025. Is it's just a little too. I bit off a little bit more than I can chew, basically because there's so much more I want to do on my channel. I have a lot of other series, there's TV shows I want to visit. There's other horror franchises yet that I haven't watched and reviewed. There's more horror anthologies. There's more horror movie packs. Some summer horror movies, just some other things that I want to do, some certain Christopher Lee movies, some other things I want to do on my channel. So I don't want like half the year or more to be taken by my 1980s horror series, even though I love 1980s. Obviously, that's why I'm doing that ongoing series, but that's really my biggest takeaway from 2025 is I think I have to limit it to 1 year of the 80s in 1 year of the current time that we're in. So 1983 and 2026, 1984 and 2027, and so on. You guys get the point. Obviously, I reviewed the Leprechaun series in March, which was kind of a nice break for my 1981 reviews. And then once I finished 1981 in May of this year, I went to some horror movie packs, which I still have many in my collection. And then one of the big things, of course, in 2025 was I changed the name of my channel from Brian's Horror Corner to Brian's Horror Movies for Life. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One, I just wanted to spice things up a bit. Um, but I don't know. I just felt like Brian's Horror Corner was more encompassing than what my channel is. My channel is really more focused on horror movies as opposed to like horror novels or horror. Uh, I know a lot of people that have horror channels that it's just like horror merchandise or posters or things like that. And that's all great. And I have a lot of that stuff, as you can see behind me. And I'm always adding more all the time. But I have so many horror movies yet that I need to watch and review on my channel and talk about. And so that's the reason, that's the big reason why I decided to change it from Brian's Horror Corner, which sounds a little bit like fat free gravy, to Brian's Horror Movies for Life, which isn't necessarily much more of a spicy title, but I think it's a little bit more indicative of what my channel is, at least at this time. So that change, of course, took place, I want to say like midway through the year, June or July. I can't exactly remember when I did that. So that was a big thing. And then, of course, I did some horror anthology reviews midway through the year. And then I got back into my 1980s horror series, of course, starting in August, September, November, December, which I just finished up yesterday, as a matter of fact. I put my top 20 horror movies for 1982 up. And then I skipped October because I revisited the Halloween franchise and had a couple other Halloween related horror movies in there that I reviewed, like Halloween Night, and I think what was the other? There was another one too. I forget what. Oh, I think it was. What else did I review? I can't remember now, but it was nice to take those breaks, especially for a lot of horror movies for those two 1980 horror years that I looked at. But that was kind of my year in a nutshell. Like I said, the biggest takeaway is I gotta limit myself to 1 year of the 1980s for that series going forward per year. I'm not going to be changing my name of my channel again anytime soon, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I trip the algorithm to get more subscribers and more views, because I have about 838 subscribers as of December 31st, and I appreciate every single one of you, as well as all of you that you might not be a subscriber, but you view my content. Although I would ask, why aren't you a subscriber if you're doing that? But I haven't been able to quite figure out. I've tried to do all the little bells and whistles when it comes to um, setting up my videos, posting them, scheduling them, all those things by including different keywords and stuff. And I don't really know what it takes. I don't know if because I don't have a lot of like special effects or a lot of like I know a lot of people do, like they have like music openings and animated openings or things like that to kind of preview their channel. And I don't have all of that. It's me basically sitting here and talking about horror movies or collections or things like that. So I don't know how much of it is that. But I just haven't been able to figure out YouTube. Is that a huge deal to me? Not really. I mean, I'd like to have 1,000 subscribers. But ultimately, I'm doing this channel not for likes and views. I'm doing it more for myself. And at some point in the future, I'll get into exactly what that means and why that is. But that's something that I've been trying to do, and I'll probably continue to try to do it in 2026 within reason. I mean, I'm not going to bust my ass too much if the algorithm just doesn't like my channel, maybe. I don't know. But no. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up my thoughts from 2025, though. It was a good year. It went fast. As when you review about 90 to 110 horror movies from the 1980s, it goes fast. And but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed looking at those years. I enjoyed all the other content on my channel. I just want to have more of a variety in 2026. Therefore, I'm now going to talk about previewing 2026 and kind of what you guys can expect. And like I said, the 1 year, 1983, midway through the year, 3 months for my overall 1980s horror series. But the exciting thing, and I don't know if it's exciting for you or not, hopefully it is, but I'm going to kick off 2026 by showing off my entire horror collection again. It's been about 2 years and 3 months. I think it was October of 2023 that I last had a horror collection number of videos. I think there was like 12 of them or something. but there's been enough changes. I've added more, I've upgraded, I've downgraded, I've gotten rid of some. There's been enough changes for me to kick off 2026 by doing about. I'm going to try to do it in about 10 separate videos. So my Scream Factory collection, Arrow, all my boutique labels, my standard DVDs, standard Blu-rays, horror franchises, horror TV series, box sets, and horror movie packs. Everything I have horror related that I can watch on a TV. I'm going to go through here in the month of January. So the first video, which will start with my Scream Factory collection, that'll be a two-parter because I have a large Scream Factory collection. You can expect the first video as early as this weekend, around January 3rd probably. That'll post to my channel, and then throughout the month of January you'll get the other videos to make up my entire horror movie collection. I just figured that would be a good way to kick off the new year, as well as kind of update some of my specialty videos that I have for new subscribers and continuing subscribers, just to kind of get that more current. Then I'll be looking at a horror franchise, a couple of them this year, a couple of TV series. I'm not going to tell you what they are right now. I got more horror movie packs, a summer series. We're going to take a look at some classic Universal monster movies at some point, some Christopher Lee, certain movies. So yeah, that's a lot of what you can kind of expect for 2026. I'm excited to delve into a lot of that. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Like I said, I just wanted to come on here and have about a 10 to 15 minute video, just kind of looking back and looking forward. I think that's good for any content creator, YouTube creator, to kind of take a look back and reflect on what you've done and what you want to do. Especially for somebody like me that's type A and is always kind of reflective and try to stay organized in my life and certainly on my YouTube channel. So with that being said, I don't think I want to make sure I covered everything. I think I did. You can definitely go ahead and comment down below any thoughts, suggestions, dislikes, likes, things that I do on my channel that you guys have, and don't worry about hurting my feelings. If you think there's something I could do better, I'll always take the ideas and don't be too brutal. Don't tell me that don't tell me that I'm, tough to look at and that I'm, I shouldn't be doing a YouTube channel or anything, unless you really believe that. And then I'm not sure why you're subscribing or watching anyway. But as far as my content goes and how I roll it out, if you have any ideas, suggestions, likes, dislikes, ideas, yada, 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 please comment them down below. I'll definitely take them into account as long as they're respectful. This is I'm not here to start fights or anything like that. But yeah, and then of course, please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It would really help me out for going forward for 2026 and the content on my channel. Please hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming reviews if you haven't already. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap up this video and wrap up 2025 as it relates to my channel. I hope everybody's having a good holiday season. Happy New Year to everybody. Have fun, but stay safe. Be smart. But as always, stay scared. Bye, everybody.